Set blasters on full.
What's up guys, Gripe here with another review. Today we're going to check out another Bandai movie realization figure, and this time it's the Star Wars Samurai Taisho Darth Vader with the Death Star armor. And we will start out by checking out the packaging as always, and again, I really like the movie realization line's packaging. It's got a nice classy feel to it, has a really good cardboard. Love the graphics on it, like you got this awesome close-up here of Vader with his light katana and regular katana crossed. You also have the movie realization logo in the upper left corner. You have the Tamashii Nations and Bandai logos on the bottom right corner. And to the left of that, you have the Star Wars logo with the figure name underneath, Samurai Taisho Darth Vader, and he is wearing the Death Star armor. And on this side of the box, we have another close-up of the figure, and this time it's the face with the movie realization logo underneath. And on the back, you've got a few different close-up shots, as well as 3 different poses for the figure, and some more information about the line and the figure itself. And on this side of the box, we have the name of the figure, Samurai Taisho Darth Vader, Death Star armor, and the Disney logo. And the top of the box has the same thing, minus the Disney logo. And the bottom of the box also has the same thing, and this time it has a website address. And when you crack the box open, you have a long time ago in a galaxy far away in the top lid. And inside the box, you have the figure as well as all the accessories laid out real nice. So now we'll take a look at the accessories themselves. And we'll start with the Death Star ornament for the helmet. I like the paint job on this. It's got a nice gradient there through the middle. The line in the middle is also really nicely painted. Everything is really nice and smooth. You can see the inside is painted as well, which is great. So overall, no complaints with this. I think this came out really nice. And next up, we have the light katana, which is a really nice accessory. It has a nice translucent red blade, which is supposed to be the lightsaber beam. The handle on it looks exceptionally nice. I really like the texture they used on there that resembles the raised skin used on an actual Japanese katana. Really like the paint job on those buttons, the nice brass color they used. And I love how the bottom of the hilt looks just like Vader's lightsaber, which is really awesome. And you also have another lightsaber. It's the same one, just in the off position. It's got the same great details on there. You have really nice clean textures as well as really good paint job on it. Everything looks great. All the little touches of paint, the brass and silver. And that's what the inside of the blade looks like. And the bottom of the hilt. And this figure also comes with a regular katana, and this is also really nicely sculpted and painted. The handle on here looks really good as well. It's got a battle wrap type texture to it. And this also comes with a black plastic sheath. And the blade on here is a nice silver paint, and it is also sculpted really nicely. Now check out the different hands that come with this figure, and this figure does come with 4 sets of hands. You have these fists here, and all of them are really nicely sculpted and painted. I especially like the right hand, which is Vader's robotic hand, or the replacement hand after Luke cut the one off, and it looks really, really good. The left hand also looks good. It's the regular gloved hand. You can see some really nice details here on the sculpt, and there is a bit of a whitewash on it. You can actually see it much better here on the outstretched force push hand. And again, you can also see all the really great details in the robotic hand. I love the paint and sculpt on here. It looks really, really good. It's very intricate and came out great. And you can see they also did great detail here on the gloved hand. You can see all the wrinkles and different details in the palm and fingers. You also have a set of katana holding hands. And these are for holding the 2 different swords, and these are also really nicely detailed with sculpt and paint. And last but certainly not least, you have the force choke hands. At least that's what I'm assuming the position is supposed to be. These are, again, really nicely detailed in sculpt and paint, and I really like the position on these fingers. So now I'll check out the sculpt and paint on the figure itself, and this is my favorite part of these figures because they really do just look absolutely phenomenal. And you can see here, let's get a little bit closer so you can really see these details. See all the great sculpted details here on the mask. Looks really good. I like this little subtle whitewash I put on the helmet. The red paint on the stitches there looks really good. I like that it's a soft plastic that kind of scallops up. You can see the nice gold paint here on the pins on the cape. The cape itself is really nicely sculpted. It is a little bit of a thicker plastic than I would have liked, but I do like the length. It really allows you to get some more of a crouching pose on this figure. And really love this rib cage sculpted armor here. And the chest plate looks really, really good. This little control area on the stomach also looks really, really nice. I love the colors they used. That blue almost looks like it's like a plastic, but it's actually just paint. It's a really nice color. Everything is painted precisely. The belt looks really good. I love the details. The leather holster really looks like leather. You've got that nice little silver in the rivets there. This holster also looks really good as well. Again, very leather-like, and I love that it's swiveled. You have a really nice pyramid texture here on these arms, and you can really see the whitewash here on that side, and this is probably my favorite part of the entire figure. This arm just looks sick. I love this forearm. I love the detail. All that nice gold paint in there. I really like how they hid these gold hoses on the inside of these fins here. It just looks absolutely amazing. And again, just great detail on that robotic arm. It looks super cool. You also have these skirts here, and again, I love the red paint on the stitching. And up top here, it's a nice soft pliable plastic that really allows you to get good articulation in this area. The underneath skirt is also really good soft plastic. It has that great Death Star painted on there. Great sculpting here on the legs. You can see all these nice folds and ripples, and the detail goes all the way up to the hips on the legs, which is nice even though they're hidden. The boots again look really good. Again, nice whitewash applied to those, so it looks almost old or antiqued, and a good detail on the shoes. And you can see all the little detail there on the heels, and even though they're curved, they are surprisingly steady. So now I'll take a look at the articulation on the figure, and it is a fairly nicely articulated figure. And again, I like this area on the helmet here. It's soft plastic, and it kind of accordions up, and it really allows you to get some good posing. You can see you can have them look up and down pretty nicely, and that is also soft plastic in the front. It is a double jointed head and neck. You can get some good tilt left and right. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough to get some decent poses. And you do have to be careful of this. This actually popped off on me. Both sides popped off on me. All it takes is a small dot of crazy glue and it fixes right up. But you do get some good rotation thanks to the soft plastic on the helmet. And one of the interesting things is there's a ball joint back here, and that attaches to the cape. Although do try to be careful, because once these pins pop out, they are really a pain to get back in. It took me probably a good 15 minutes to get them back in. The shoulders are pretty nicely articulated. You can get them up about that high. You can rotate them completely around in the socket. You do have a little bit of rotation on the shoulder there as well. And this figure has some great double jointed elbows. You can get a really good bend on this. You can see you could practically have them touch his shoulder, which is really nice. And you do have some rotation as well. As you can see, you kind of have to move it from the forearm, but you do have some rotation there at the elbow and a little bit on the forearm itself, but there's really not much. And the wrists on this figure are your typical swivel and hinge style. The hinge is a little bit on the large side, but it does allow you some really good range of motion, which is nice. And you can see you can get that in any direction depending on how you rotate the hand in alignment with the hinge. This figure has a double jointed diaphragm joint. As you can see, you can kind of shimmy the torso back and forward. That does allow you to get some extra range of motion depending on how you play with that joint. And he does go back quite far, but he doesn't go forward nearly as far, although it is a serviceable amount. And you can rotate him around at the torso fairly easily. The hips are okay. They do pop off quite easily, so you do be careful of that. It goes right back in without any issue whatsoever, but you are a little bit limited on the sideward extension. He can kick forward a decent amount. As you can see, you're probably getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 50-55 degrees. He doesn't kick back nearly as far. You're only getting a few degrees backwards, maybe 15. And you do have rotation at the top of the hip. You also have double jointed knees, although because of the size of the pants, you're limited. You're getting maybe a hair over 90 degrees on the bend. As you can see, you do have rotation at the knee though. And you can get the foot down about that far. And he only goes up about that high because of the armor on the shoe. You do have full rotation of the foot. And you do have a really good ankle pivot on here. It's a little silly considering how far you can get the legs, but it's still a nice feature to have. So now I'll check out the size and scale of the figure, and without the Death Star head ornament, he's standing at 7¼ inches tall. And with the helmet ornament, he stands at almost 8 inches tall. So now let's see how this figure scales. And here he is next to the Ronin Boba Fett figure from the same line. As you can see, it looks like he's just a slight bit taller than him, so I really don't think there's a whole lot of scaling going on in this line. And here he is standing next to the Mafex Darth Vader. So you get an idea of how he fits in with the 6-inch lines. It's a little bit bigger. It's kind of like a Marvel Select versus a Marvel Legend. So overall, I think this is another really great figure from the Bandai Movie Realization line. I can't say enough good things about this line. I really love it. Some people might be a little turned off by the style of it, but if you like the style, I really highly suggest getting these figures. They are a bit on the pricey side, but you really do get a huge amount of detail in the sculpt and paint on these figures. Articulation is also really good. although because of the sculpt and the way they're styled, it is a little bit limited in certain areas. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Subscribe for more.